Hello, and welcome to Unfiltered Eat Better, Think Better series. This is where we get real about our emotions, mindset, connection to food, and healing, what it really takes to break free and feel good in your body and life again. I'm your host, Jaini Shah, and in this series, I sit down with everyday people who face challenges with their health, body, their mind, their confidence, or long-held beliefs that have held them back, and found powerful ways to rise and grow through it all. These are real stories, no filters, no fluff, just raw conversations about what they struggled with, what actually helped, and how they created transformation from the inside out. So, whether you're on your own journey or just curious on what's possible, you are in the right place. Here's to eating better, thinking better, and living a phenomenal life. Let's go. So, to introduce our next guest, Nutan, who also has a name that's like close to me because you also have my aunt's name. We met again at Mind Valley University in Amsterdam, and it was so wonderful because Nutan reached out to share her journey with me. And I'm really excited because I know it's one that is going to inspire anyone and everyone that's listening because it's really about putting yourself first. It's about rebuilding against all the odds that could be there. And sometimes life brings us to a place where we feel that everything is falling apart, right? All the things you thought were certain about marriage, about location, about your business, about your health, and even your sense of self-worth. And yet those moments can kind of just go away in a moment or over a long period of time. So at one point, I just want to mention this and we'll dive into this and know where it came from. But Nathan was over 225 pounds, which is 102 kilograms. And you were struggling with stress at one point. The marriage was collapsing. You lost your business at some point. And at that point, you could have really given up. But instead, she chose to really believe in herself, to take baby steps and to just keep going. In that process, she actually did release over 100 pounds, which is 45 kilos, rebuilt her career, and reclaimed her worth. So, Nathan, thank you so much for being here with us. And perhaps maybe you could just share a little bit. Let's just start right before the beginning of the transformation, right? And you can maybe share a little bit about what life looked like for you when things were going well. And then we can just see where it
Okay.
goes from there.
Okay. So first of all, Jaini, thank you for having me over and having met you in Amsterdam. I was so connected and was really happy and impressed to see what you were doing and really looking for people to come out and talk unfiltered. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Somebody's really wanting to make a big impact. So thank you for doing what you do. Coming back to your question, my life and where it was and where I am today. So I grew up in Bombay, had a beautiful life, very pampered, very nurtured, and a loving family. Married somebody I thought was of my choice.
Mhm.
So against all odds, married him. Um, Soon realized what I thought was love was really not love. So things started to fall apart, and I was 35 then. And my marriage and business were intertwined. So we worked together. We built the whole business empire together. We really were very, very flourishing and very well known in the textile garment industry then. So at the time when I was in that realization, well, this is not working, the marriage is not working, I also realized I would not have any occupation. So I had to lose that as well. So that was the first blow in life that really shook me off. And my choices were simple: go back to my family, even though I ran away from them to get married, and now tell them, take shelter, give me shelter, or um, just sit there and cry and wait to die. And the third option, just get up, kick my ass, and say, well, I'm going to live. And I'm going to do something for myself, and not just for myself, also for my children. So I took the third option and really plunged out, packed my bag, moved to America, not knowing what I would have in store. Absolutely no idea. I had no framework, no blueprint, nothing at all. I had one family who was willing to help me and said, come down and we'll figure it out. I landed there. Yeah, I landed there, and then put myself together and started to look for jobs or some kind of occupation that would start to pay me. Soon realized everything that I did in India was worth nothing. Because if you
Wow.
were a business owner and even at the top level employing more than 200 people, it meant nothing because your resume there was very different than it was here. And in the first place, I never had a resume in India. So I had to start building my resume. And now if you're talking at an MD director level and you want to join an American company, they're not going to take you at that level. So I had to learn to tone down my resume again and again and again, and finally push myself into a company to get me a job at the entry level. So that's where life really hits you and takes a turn, and you just embrace and accept and embody everything that comes to you. The only
Wow.
thing that really holds you together is your positive thinking, your courage, and your determination to win. So
Mm.
that was a huge learning for me itself, that no matter what, you've got to get up and run and take
Yeah.
things in control. So in this whole process, it was almost a 4 or 5 year span of challenges and struggle and everything that's going on. And then, coming to America all alone, leaving my kids behind, struggling to get immigration status for long term so I could bring my kids here and all that. It does take a big toll. And every immigrant person probably knows that it's not easy. So went through the whole toll, but that took a toll on my health. And I was eating whatever came in front of me and eating all kind of junk, and then just kept putting on and on. So when I got married, I was 44 kilos. So from 44 kilos to go up to 100 plus is a huge gap. And even when
Mm.
I came to America, I was like in the mid 50s. So not that bad, but the first few years, the American food and everything that was on the table, I ate it all, and the stress just killed me, and that's what it did to me. So finally, in the career, I was kind of moving up the ladder and getting comfortable and settled. But then I started to feel like a potato couch. And
Mm.
said, it's like these big bags around me I carry all the time. It's too much of weight. And who's going to look at me and who's going to give me a better option? And if they have to choose between me and another candidate, I would not stand the first chance. That was a
Right.
big, realization that had started to kick in. And one fine, and I was doing little by little everything, Weight Watchers and I exercises and just little things, but not as diligent as one needed to do. And they were more excuses for not following them, actually. So the
Yeah.
day it hit me that this is going to hamper my growth, and not just in profession, even in personal life, people just start looking at you from a very different perspective. Oh, that fat lady, or whatever they call names, right? And I wasn't
Yeah.
willing to accept that. So I made a determination that no matter what, I'm going to put myself first. So even, moving to America was kind of saying myself first, because I wasn't willing to accept the situation. I said, I got to get up and put myself first and build my life back again.
Yeah.
And then this was the second thing of my health that said, do whatever it takes to do, but fix it. So then I
Yeah.
started to work on it again, very diligently, doing all kind of exercises and diet plans and everything. And I did lose 120 pounds
Wow.
in 2 years,
That's insane. And it's important actually. You said over 2 years, right?
over 2 years. Yeah,
Yeah, because I think it's also important for anyone listening is that it doesn't just happen like
it
this.
doesn't happen.
As
No,
in,
no.
it takes a little bit of time and
It takes.
effort. We got to put the work in.
Yeah. So as I said, even I was putting that effort, but I was really finding excuses and not being diligent about it. And so once you say nothing doing, you got to do it. You do it.
You do it. What
You
what
do.
were out of curiosity, what were the excuses if you look back and you could
I don't
remember?
have time. I have to go to a meeting. I'm traveling. Oh, let me eat it for now. I'll do it tomorrow again. I go back on track. And, that's what they say. If you say you're going to go back on track, you actually do, but that never happens. You slip out.
Yeah.
So,
And what was the difference in when you made that determination to put yourself first? What do you feel clicked for you, or what changed for you to actually now just do it?
there are a lot of interesting tips. Sometimes you get it's, sometimes like put little post-its on your walls, put posters around you, put big
Mm,
mirrors around you, and see yourself. And I'm currently doing an exercise which you just look into the mirror, into your eyes, and say, "I love you." We
mm,
think it is easy. It's really not easy.
yeah.
Because we don't say that to ourselves. We tell the world, but we don't say that to ourselves. And you really look into your eyes and say, and then you see the sadness inside. So
Mm,
that's where it comes to put yourself ahead of others. I'm not saying don't be there for others. I'm all there for everybody. But if you're not well equipped in your health, in your situations, in your environment, how can you help others? And to me, that was another big realization because I was already in my mid 40s, and you start to say, okay, now my bones are paining, my muscles are paining, and what if I get handicapped? What if I'm disabled to do certain things? Who is going to take care of me? And I'm in a foreign country. I don't have a big circle. I didn't have a big
mm,
circle then. And even if I have, I don't expect friends to come and take care of me or my children to come and take care. They have a life of their own. So that fear, when that sinks in, do you want to be dependable and just sitting in a corner there and crying, just whining all your life? And you say no. So since that has hit me, I have become more and more conscious of just one thing. I want to live happy. I don't care when death comes to me, but until I live, I want to be independent, and I want
yeah,
to be happy about it.
yeah.
So
I
that's what puts you together.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's so nice that there was something that clicked that helped you recognize I don't want to be dependent on other
I
people.
don't
I don't
want
want
to.
to just be sitting here complaining and crying all my life. And I'm going
Yes,
to say no to that.
yes,
And it's like as soon as you made that decision, you
yes,
just started taking proactive action. You started
yes,
committing to yourself. And then you stuck to those commitments and those
yeah,
promises
yeah.
because you had that deeper, yeah, it's almost like that deeper knowing of I want to live happy. I want to be independent. And therefore, I'm just going to need to do
I'm
these.
just gonna, and the other aspect to it is not that you are happy alone in yourself, but your dear ones whom you love are happy for you because you are giving them so much less stress to worry about you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
live all alone now. My house was full of 20 kids, for many, many years. And now I live all alone, and my children are close by, but they know mom is fine. And if
Mm,
the day something happens to me, they know I'm a call or a text away, and they'll run to me. But I give them that peace and solace that you do what you have to do in life. I'm fine.
yeah. There's actually this quote that I've been seeing everywhere, and it's so relevant to what you're saying right now, is that so many parents say, "Oh, I would do anything. I would die for my kids, or I would die for my family." But how many would live for them? Right?
Yeah,
And that's what you're doing right now. You're actually living for them. You're taking care of your health. You're taking care of yourself so that
yeah,
you're actually here and able to live for them. And you
yeah,
mentioned earlier when we were chatting that you have grandkids
yeah,
and you're able to actually go and be with them and play with them and be supportive
yeah, yeah.
because you're in a great health situation.
Yes, yes, totally. You are around to help them, and you don't want to go and be a burden to them. Okay, now take care of me. And when it comes to independence, I also put a lot of emphasis to economic independence, also financially, also be independent. They make a
Yeah.
lot of money, they're happy, they can afford to shower tons of it on you, but why? As long
Mm.
as you can manage your life yourself, do that. I just think you are so much more respected for that.
Mm. Yeah, interesting. And you, when we were talking, when we connected in Mind Valley, you also mentioned what you do now is actually support other women in becoming financially independent
Yeah,
or
I encourage. So, we work through, I have a jewelry brand called Nectar Lux, and where we have a lot of arts and crafts embedded in the jewelry. So that is done through different nonprofit organizations in India and women in jail and so on. So they're also, the mission really is to help women become economic independent.
Yeah. And what
You know,
made you start that?
I think my own life journey, the way I was thrown out of my own marriage, and I thought I lived the queen's life and I had it all, and suddenly, the carpet is flipped under your feet and you realize you're a pauper, you're pretty much on the streets.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, the most important thing is money. You need money to survive. How long can friends and family support you? Ultimately, so, and I realized that because I did not put my own savings together. I was working, but because it was a family business, I never had an independent salary or, a paycheck coming to me. So,
Yeah.
and who knew that your marriage and finance are so interdependent? And I mean, I live in America now, and you can talk of alimony and equal share of assets and all. It doesn't exist in India.
Yeah. Do you think still, even today?
I don't know, but even if it does, it's just the whole legal process is very, very messy and so much time consuming and just mentally so much torture. So,
Yeah.
just to go through that whole thing, and then at the end of it, you'll be thrown
Mm.
few lakhs of rupees in Indian context. How
Yeah.
long is that going to take care of you? You still
Yeah,
have
true.
to, you still have to get up and feed yourself. And even if you decide to, get into a second partnership with somebody and all, why be dependent?
Mm. Yeah,
Why
it's
put
true.
yourself down on a weaker pedestal?
Yeah. Because
Stay
you're right,
strong.
look, the world that we do live in today is that money is necessary for us to have our basic needs met.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's necessary. It also gives you a whole different confidence in your worthiness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting. Let's talk
your
a little
body
bit about
language.
that.
Yeah, your body language, your tone, your confidence, your eye contact, everything changes. And that
Yeah.
comes from deep within when you earn for yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really true. I'm going through an interesting phase at the moment where I'm exploring my beliefs and relationship with money. And
Uh-huh.
as I moved from being in stable employment as a lawyer to now shifting and saying, okay, I'm actually going to start my own coaching business. And when you start to be an entrepreneur and you have your own
Yeah,
business, there's so many ups and downs, right? Like there's some really good
absolutely.
seasons and then there's some low seasons. And I start to notice how that does affect my confidence. It does
It
affect
does.
how I show
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and speak
Yeah,
up
it does totally.
and it's crazy. And I don't want that to be the case, but that is the case. And it does happen. There's an attachment to that. I still definitely feel I have that belief that the amount of money I have does not define my success.
Yes,
But strangely enough, the money aspect still has a tie to the confidence and the worth.
totally.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Not just in the world or just the way society looks at you. I think it brings in the deeper acceptance of worthiness. And I keep saying the word worthy because we lack that. Women in the Asian environment, a lot more than the Western. Okay. Culturally, we are put down. From the time we are born, you're a girl, you're a woman, it's okay, you are secondary. No, why?
Yeah. What?
I'm willing to serve the men, in my
Mm.
family all around, but why should I be secondary? God did not create us those parities there or the hierarchies. It's the society that built them.
Did them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, you've hit a really interesting point because one of the retreats that I went to earlier this year, one of the biggest things that I discovered about an underlying belief that's been kind of governing my life was actually around worthiness and self-worth. And it's such a big cornerstone to how I was behaving and acting, not only in my business, but also in relationships as well. Now that I've sort of resolved that,
Uh-huh.
I'm very different. I'm more confident. I'm more confident
That's what
myself.
I said. Yeah,
Happy hanging out alone, but I don't feel lonely.
absolutely.
Different. What's your journey with self-worth been? And what were maybe some of the signs that life was becoming too heavy to carry, and you started to notice, wow, this worthiness needs some attention.
Um, to me, my life, I have a big contrast of my life in India and my life here. So, although in India, being an equal partner in business and doing well in the family, appreciated, loved by everybody, um, that worthiness was not so strong.
Mhm.
Having moved to the US and now you're walking the path all alone, you don't have anybody left, right behind you, you got to figure it out. And you walk into companies and in your work environment, and suddenly they look at you very differently. They look at you of what you bring to the table.
Hmm.
We thought if we put 9 to 5 hours on the table or at the work, that's good enough. That was not how I was measured here. So,
Yeah.
and we thought a lot of hard work is more appreciated. No, diligence, sincerity, honesty, your intelligence. You were looked at different aspects and given so much more score than the others. And you're like, really? This is so important, or this is so rare. So to me,
Yeah.
those kind of little attributes that were added around me built a whole different confidence in me. And because I came from a business background and, from the top up, every job I went to, I worked like an owner there. I did not work like an employee. So I would just take on everything that came on my table and around me and put in my creative work or put in my ideas and did something better than that was expected. And that is what gave the wow factor. And the appreciation here is also very upfront and transparent. They tell you, wow, you're good at this. So
Yeah.
all that kinds of adds on. And suddenly, for me, I just felt I'm a whole new person.
Mhm.
I was probably a shy, timid girl, not really timid, but soft, sitting there and doing everything. And you're like, okay, I'm a warrior now. Give me anything and I'll fight it out.
Yeah.
I don't
What
need to
made
be loud.
you? Oh, sorry, go on.
I said, I don't need to be loud, but I am focused and determined
Yeah.
to go to the finish line.
Mm. Yeah.
So that gives a lot of confidence, and that really endorses your worthiness in yourself. And once you get that endorsement in yourself, you don't need validation from others.
Mm.
You see it in the environment, you see it in their eyes, you see it in the way you are welcomed by others. So I think that worthiness is something each person within should awaken. And
Mm.
interestingly enough, our new collection in the jewelry line is around worthiness.
Oh, wow.
It's a very, very interesting collection. So, my brief to my designers were, I don't want to miss a single woman on the planet. I want a collection that resonates with each one of them. So they came up with the concept of the archetype that covers all the 12 zodiacs. And then, picking up each zodiac, defining the character of what an Aries looks like, what does the Taurus look like, or what's the Virgo look like, and building all those attributes and gemstones and craft and everything into that. And then every collection has a name that says you are the priestess, you are the goddess.
Wow.
Yeah, it literally starts with that and it awakens then. And, to just extend that further is, okay, you are who you are. I'm the goddess of compassion, for example, right? And I need fire from another um, character. So I borrowed that jewelry on me that day to embody that character.
Yeah.
So, but the message going around with that collection is really, you are worthy, you are the queen. Don't look left and right to see and get inspired by another queen. It is you.
Yeah. You have it within you.
You have it within you. Dig it deep, bring it out, roar like the lion.
Yeah.
I practice Buddhism, and it's interesting. There, all our prayer is about bringing out your best potential, and they literally say, "Roar like the lion."
Yeah. I
So,
love that.
yeah, yeah. So all these things, put together, like the title of your show, "Eat Better, Think Better." Again, think better, think positive, think about yourself, bring it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just
exactly.
everything. And you really don't need somebody else to help you with all this. The day you decide, you'll do it.
Yeah. This is true
You
because in your journey so far, you haven't actually mentioned any sort of assistance or help that you got. This was like you.
you do build
Did
an
it.
environment and a support system around.
Yeah, the support.
I think that comes in because those are the people you are attracted to.
Yeah.
If you see a lot of toxins around and negativities, you you still appreciate them, pray for them to be in a better place, and you distance yourself. I've learned this. They call it building boundaries here. I did not learn
Mm.
this term in India, but, or they even say, give me space, or take space, or build boundaries. So I'm learning to do that.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
my time. Leave me alone. And that's my introspection. That's my meditation to myself and affirmations that I need to make. Okay, what better do I want to do in life? How can
Mm.
I impact more people? How can I be more confident and self-sufficient in myself?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's beautiful. And this is a really good reminder that the truth is and the fact is that each one of us is born with that worthiness, with that confidence. It's just
Totally.
along the way, it's been hidden and it's been put under layers. And all you got
Yes.
to do is just ask to find it and to see it and be curious, and you will find it within yourself.
Just
And
tap
then,
it.
like you said, roar like a lion. Let that come out.
Let
Let
that come
yourself
out.
shine in your
Yes.
worthiness.
Yes. Yes. Totally.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I want to go to one point that you mentioned, which I thought was really cool, as in just as a sort of mindset, not trick, but you went in when you were saying when you were starting right at the bottom, you moved to America, you had to start at the bottom, even though you were owner of a business before, now you had to start working from the bottom. But you said that you always went in with the mindset of actually being an owner
Yes.
rather than an employee.
Yes.
And what made you do that, or how did that come about?
I think it is part of your DNA. Because I worked as an employer all the time, and for me, actually, it's interesting you bring that up because I had to push myself literally into the first job I joined there, telling them, I'm not going out of the office. You can call the security and throw me out or give me an assignment. It was pretty much that. Right. And so they created a position which did not exist, and they appointed me as the assistant to the CEO. He didn't have one assistant, and here I was. So the first day when I go to office and I sit on the table and I just look around, so I had the last bench in that whole division. They probably just created that desk also for me, so a desk and a chair, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I had 6 assistants working for me, and today I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Right. But it hit me for once, and then I had to hit myself and say, stop complaining. Be grateful you got the opportunity, you fought for it, and this is your chance of survival again. If you don't do this, you're going to be out of visa. You got to go back. And then what?
Mm.
So it just hits you and you do it. And because you were so experienced, in my situation, so experienced over the years to work as an owner, I just couldn't think. And honestly, even if you ask me, even if I had that experience, let's put it plain and simple. When you are hired in a company, what does the company expect you to do? To treat it like your own company, to bring everything that you can to help the company grow.
Mhm.
So why the difference between an employer and owner mentality? If I
Yeah.
put more efforts and the right efforts for the company to grow, I will grow with it. If I don't, everything is going to break down.
Yeah.
So I think that mentality is something that we all need to have.
Hmm. Wow, I love that. I love that. And we've spoken so much about persistence and not giving up. How do you keep going when the doors don't open right away?
So I will say that not that there are no dark moments. There are at times. But
Mm.
and you debate in yourself, you meditate and you come up. But I have just realized recently that when I see somebody else in a dark moment and they reach out to me, and that hits me. She's or he is in a darker situation than I am. And if they're reaching out to me, that means they expect me to support. So I'm better off them,
Mhm.
right?
And
And that
does that
energy
ever
pulls me.
happen?
Oh, it happens many times.
But I mean, like, so before when you were in your darkest place, when you just kind of moved to America, did you ever have that situation where someone else was actually requesting you to help?
At that time, not so much in the real context because I had a very limited circle and all, but we see it in everyday life now.
Yeah.
It just could be small situations they are in, and they're like, I don't know how to deal with this. Can you help me? And you say, well, and you don't throw everything on the table of what's going on in your mind because all you're going to do is pass on depression or sorrow. Doesn't help.
Yeah.
You're going to be telling them to judge you weak.
Yeah. True.
They've
True.
not come with that intention. They've come with the intention to help and support them. So you lift them. And for me, lifting others gives me more energy. Funny
Yeah.
enough,
No, that's beautiful. I think, it's so common that the best way to feel better is actually to give.
to give,
And so when you give, when you lift others, when you give back to community, in whichever what way, it's the
whichever way.
best way to actually feel better.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I also tell myself sometimes, okay, whatever I have, what am I going to do with it? I'm gone and nobody's going to even come and collect it and donate it. Well, they'd probably put everything to trash. So might as well share it.
Yeah.
Share it while
Yeah.
I can.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I could build everything all over again, need be, I'll build it again. What's the big
Oh.
deal?
True. What role did gratitude play for you?
Oh, huge, huge, huge. And honestly, I practice gratitude every morning, evening. I get up in the morning and I list the people in my life and the things around me, and I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just so much. And I would not have been in a situation where I am now if it was not for people, friends, and family all around who supported me, honestly.
Wow.
Deep, deep gratitude to each one who's touched my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't realize we meet people, we walk past them, but I just think everybody who has connected with you even for a second is there for a purpose, a reason. It's not just for any. Even strangers, sometimes you look and you just like the way the person smiled at you or looked at you, and you say, well, he gave me happiness for that moment.
Mm.
And some faces register forever in life.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Were you familiar with these practices of gratitude before when you first moved?
I have been very spiritual, and so I may not be very religious, and I am also not a blind follower, but I do like to experience and make my own opinion about every spiritual leader on the planet. So I try and attend, big leaders all around and
Mm.
draw my own conclusions out of I like them or what I take home from them and what I don't want to take home from them. So, but I have always been attracted to the positive thinking, the uplifting self energy, and also the vibration and the energy around you. And I have been more learning more and more about it. And that's why I was even there at Mind Valley.
Yeah.
So, it was just Mind Valley was on my mind for the last 6, 7 years, and I had no clue what I would expect out of it. But I wanted to be there, immerse myself, and then come back strong. Okay,
Yeah.
now I know what it is, and I am in a situation to talk about it. Without an experience, you don't. So I do have a lot of friends and who are really into the whole spiritual practices and healing. And I was in Berlin like 3 years ago. I walked into a co-living just because a friend recommended just go, and I went. And I was around healers, and I had 15 different modalities experienced in 2 weeks' time on me. And it's
Whoa.
just, and I didn't even know they existed. You're
Yeah.
talking inner child healing and music healing and quantum healing. It's just, I'm like, what goes on? But
Yeah.
it is just so deep and so interesting. And they're all my friends. They come home, they stay, and I just love that whole environment.
That was in Berlin, you said?
Berlin, yeah,
Wow, so interesting.
yeah. So my
It,
home is called the Hive. And all these friends from around the world, they come, they stay, they park themselves a week, 2 weeks, and they do their practices. And I just say, you just spread so much positive vibes around.
yeah.
It's just good
Wow.
energy.
Yeah, I love that. And why not, right?
Why
Invite to
not?
the home and have that beautiful energy around.
Yeah, totally. It's
Yeah.
all about energy. I'm actually now enrolled in a program that is all about frequencies and energies for your health. So I'm enrolled to be a coach there. So
Oh,
it's funny. It's funny me when I enroll into some things like these. I don't go as a student. I go as a coach because I want to soak it all and
yeah.
and the right way. So it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful group and very motivating. And, so I'm like, maybe that could
Yeah.
be my career going forward because I'm loving it. I'm loving the practices of how just frequencies, energies, and the right food and the right exercises can cure all your diseases from the root.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna definitely have to have another conversation about this, about the
Okay,
frequencies
yes,
and energies
sure.
of
Yeah.
health.
Hopefully I'm ready by then.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. As we start to sort of wrap up, I'm sure everyone would love to hear, what does believing in yourself look like for you now in practice, day to day?
I I think it makes me feel I'm unshakable.
Hmm.
I always call myself a warrior, and it just keeps endorsing more and more. I said, throw any challenge at me now. I'm not afraid. I'll take it on.
Yeah.
And first of all, they don't look like challenges to me. They look like opportunities to me.
And that's a beautiful flip, actually, is that when we can shift that perspective of, oh my God, this is a challenge, this is
Yeah.
so difficult, it's going to be the end
No.
of me, to, okay, hang on, this is an opportunity. What could I
So,
look at this as?
yeah,
And
exactly. I mean, when my life flipped, moving, and people still, for years would tell me, "Oh my God, so tough," and I would just look left and right. Why? What was tough about it? It was an opportunity for me to identify a whole new market and my whole a new me, and I kind of tie that into my name. It's all about new. My
it's
name
all
is
about
forever
you.
new. So every situation, I said, "Okay, new challenge, new opportunity."
Yeah. What do you think was that the first thought that came to your mind when you did have to move? That okay, this is an opportunity, or at that time was the first thought, this is a challenge, but then you turned it into an opportunity?
I honestly didn't know. Things went so fast.
Hmm.
And so I was not excited about it as an opportunity because I had no clue what it would unfold into.
Yeah.
But having looked back, and I actually, you said gratitude. I actually thank my ex-husband and his family for the situation they put me in. And I said,
Yeah.
thank you for doing that to me. So I'm a new person now.
Yeah. I think it's so beautiful because when we can reflect and look at the past and give gratitude, give forgiveness, um, give love,
Even give love.
yeah,
Yeah,
give
give,
love.
give them love.
Yeah,
Give them
exactly.
love. It puts you in a much um, soothing place, I would say, just
Yeah.
passing love to them.
Yeah. Because then you release that weight that's on you, you
You
release
release the
that
weight big
baggage that's
time.
on you.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
and look where you are now, right? I mean, like it's amazing. It's you as a person. are,
Totally.
correct me if I'm wrong though, but like happier than
Yeah,
you were back then.
absolutely. Not that I was not happy then, but
It's
it's
a
the whole
different kind.
discovering a whole new me,
Yeah.
and giving me the courage to now share that same belief with others.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself, you are worthy, period.
Yeah. Believe in yourself, you are worthy. Exactly.
Yeah,
And I think this is an opportunity as well for everyone, anyone listening or watching, is that we can all look back at little or big incidences in our past. And
yeah.
if we can just pay gratitude to them, show
Yes,
love,
totally,
appreciation,
totally,
forgive,
totally,
you
totally.
you will see your current position in a way better light than you'd ever
Hmm.
imagined.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're gonna start wrapping up now. I think thank you so much for sharing your story. I love your grit, but your attitude now as well. Like it's so beautiful in how you're showing up and how you're living life right now. And no matter how hard life gets, we are never powerless. We are the lions. I love
We are the
that.
lion. We are
We
the
are the
lion.
lions. And
Yeah, yeah,
your journey really shows us that
yeah,
self-belief,
yeah,
resilience, believing in yourself, small steps can truly just create this new reality
yeah, yeah.
for you.
I mean, just remember one thing. God created you with a lot of thoughts in mind, and He created a unique you, a unique individual. He has a plan. He has a roadmap. The dots will connect sooner or later. Believe in that. You are you, you are unique, and you are precious. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm going to close with the question, even though that would be such a beautiful closing. Um, I'm going to just end with the question that I ask all of my guests, and that is, if healing had a voice, what would it say to you right now?
Heal the world. We need peace on earth. Too much suffering. Natural calamities, we have no control, but can we stop the others? Why are we fighting around the world? Not needed.
Yeah, very true. Need a lot more love. Well, thank you so much, Nathan, for being here and for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Loved it.
You're welcome. All right. And for everyone listening, if this conversation resonated with you, helped you, or made you feel seen, be sure to hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And come join our free Facebook community, Eat Better, Think Better. It's where these conversations continue and where you'll find real people walking the same path. And if you're ready to go deeper in your own journey, whether it's healing your relationship with food, shifting your mindset, or breaking free
Mhm.
from beliefs that are holding you back, you will find more support, resources, and ways to work with me at www.eatbetterthinkbetter.com. So until next time, here's to eating better, thinking better, and living a phenomenal life. Let's go.